I'm sure you've had a teacher tell you that a metaphor makes a comparison between two unlike things. Yes, I suppose that is true, but a simile also makes a comparison between two unlike things, and analogies too. Are you thoroughly confused? Be not, for my diagram shall illuminate the path. On the far end of the spectrum, an analogy explains a comparison between things that usually have numerous shared qualities while still being different. A fish swims the way a bird flies. These are both animals uniquely adapted to their particular environment, but they're not exactly the same thing. Next, we move to simile. It compares two unlike things, perhaps with one or two similarities, with a very explicit and obvious choice of words. A simile is proud and wants to be seen. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Similes use the words like and as to show off. Hey you, here I am. A metaphor is very much like a simile, but covert, secretive, and wants to assert that the two things being compared just are the same thing. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Dickinson is comparing the emotion of hope to a singing bird, but she isn't just stating that they are similar, she is asserting they are the same thing. Mind-blowing. And just how are we to think about a metaphor as an actual thing? I.A. Richards said that the subject of the metaphor is a tenor, while the vehicle, like my little green car, carries the weight of the image created by the comparison. Therefore, when Shakespeare writes, "Love is the star to every wandering bark," love is the tenor, and the image of a boat navigating by the light of the North Star is the vehicle. Your brain is left to reconcile these two different images as one metaphorical expression. Oftentimes, a metaphor becomes so secretive that it only implies one of the things being compared. In other words, you are only presented with half the comparison, the vehicle, and are left to interpret and imagine the other half for yourself, the tenor. Now we have entered the realm of allegory, where metaphors can become so abstract and extended they can represent numerous ideas simultaneously. A very famous allegory is the battle between the rebellion and the evil empire. It's a rendition of one of the oldest stories around, yada yada yada, just retold in the form of space cowboys, but you must decide what the evil empire represents for yourself. The boundlessly famous, yet superfluously long, and decidedly difficult novel to read, Moby Dick, is another example. When it was written, the push to abolish slavery in the United States was thought to be an incomprehensible task, and the comparison was made by some people that the hunt for an uncatchable white whale represented the struggle for abolition. But the book's metaphorical gravity can permeate all facets of life and be an allegorical representation of nearly any unsurmountable obstacle. Thus, its relevance continues. And once we move beyond allegory, we reach the land of pure symbolism, where metaphors are the only means of communication. It is here in this enchanted land that our very language and words themselves become vehicles to represent the tenors that we must all agree upon if the controlled grunting of our voices and silly marks in the sand are to have any meaning whatsoever. What I mean to say is, all language is metaphor. Mind-blowing. Please follow me and check out my tutoring services. Until next time, read hard, write hard, think hard.